No. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. Today we are live and I'm going to be answering your Amazon questions. If you have any questions about Amazon, reselling, maybe selling on eBay, thrifting, how to find more deals, how to make this a real business, that's essentially what I'm going to be covering today. So there's literally no questions that you can't ask. I'm here to really be able to help you guys, to help you to make more money, to find more items, and to be able to build a business. And for anybody who doesn't know who I am, my name's Steve. I've been a reseller for over 8 years. When I was 21, I'm 35 now. I was arrested, went to jail. I was selling some stuff that I shouldn't have been selling. Dead broke, living at home with my parents. And over the years, I've been able to essentially change my life. I don't share this to brag or boast, but I literally came from nothing, from dirt broke, no skills, literally no education. And I'm on pace to hitting that $1 million mark, having $1 million net worth, hopefully within the next 1 to 2 years. And again, that's not to brag, not to boast, but I'm just sharing that I'm somebody who's been doing this for over 8 years. I've been making money on eBay. I've been making money on Amazon, selling books. I've helped my mom to essentially retire comfortably, and I guess that's, up to opinion. But, comfortable for her because when she retired, Social Security was only paying her, what, $700, $800 a month. And it's really not enough to be able to survive. And by teaching her how to sell books and have a book business, it's really changed her life. And she does $3,000 to $5,000 a month. My sales are between $20,000 and $25,000 a month. I tapped 25 for a little bit and then it came back down, but I'm consistently at 20,000 a month right now. Profit margins are at around 40%. A lot of my money is going back into the business right now because I'm really trying to grow it. So for anybody who's been wondering, like, how's your business going? Is it profitable? Are you making any money? I'm definitely making money, but when you're trying to scale a business, especially if you're trying to grow your inventory, which the more profitable inventory you have, and if it has a good sell-through rate, the more money you're going to make. But in order to grow that business, to build that snowball up, you've got to invest in your business. So I'm really investing a lot in my business. I'm really not taking much home. I am profiting about $8,000 a month in my business, but I'm putting it all back into my business because my goal is to have a sales revenue of $40,000 a month by the end of the year. And with profit margins around 35%, when it all settles down, maybe I could keep it at 40%. I've really come up with some really, interesting strategies for sourcing items and whatnot. So I want to open up the floor for any questions. If anybody has any questions right now, we are live on TikTok. So if you guys see me looking this way, what's going on TikTok? If you see me looking straight, I'm talking to my YouTube family. Looks like we got Keith Burnett in the house. What's up, Keith? We got Puffles65 saying, good morning, Steve. We got Mackenzie in the house. Puffles says, your mom inspires me. And here's the truth. Anybody can sell books on Amazon. Anybody can make money selling on Amazon in general, but it takes, first and foremost, it takes learning. You have to learn how to start, right? You have to pick a method. Maybe it's books, maybe it's board games, maybe it's electronics. Maybe you're going to go after puzzles. Maybe you're going to go after electronic items. There's so many different items you could go after, but once you figure out what it is you want to go after, you've got to go out there and you've got to learn how to source those items at a really good price, because once you source them at a good price, literally, Amazon takes care of the rest of the work. All you have to do is ship it to Amazon, and then Amazon will host those items at their fulfillment center, Amazon FBA. And when it sells, Amazon will pick it, pack it, ship it, and literally send you a check. And that's what I love about selling on Amazon is you can really leverage your business by not getting caught up in just sourcing all the time and listing all the time, right? But you can really scale your business because once you source an item, you ship it to Amazon and it's time to clean off your shoulders because they're going to do the rest of the hard work for you. They're going to find the customers for you. They're going to deal with any returns. They're going to deal with any refunds. They're going to deal with any questions. They're going to deal with any payment processor issues, all of the stuff that, really holds us down when it comes to scaling a business. Amazon deals with a lot of that stuff. Now, selling on Amazon isn't necessarily easy, right? There's a lot of hard work and there's a lot of things that you have to learn about selling on Amazon. But these are some of the things that I love about Amazon. I can focus on sourcing my items. All I got to do is find profitable items, source, ship to Amazon FBA, and they do the rest. But the biggest mistake that most people make when they're selling on Amazon is they're able to source items, but the problem is the items that they're sourcing don't have a high enough sell-through rate. So they spend a bunch of money on inventory, they source these items, and then guess what? It just sits and it sits and it sits. And when your inventory is sitting at Amazon not selling, what is your cash doing? It's literally collecting dust. You want your cash to work for you, right? You've heard the saying, the rich get their money to work for them. Well, the only reason it's working for them is because it's making them money. And in an inventory-based business like selling on Amazon, the way that you get your money to work for you is you put your money into a product and then that product turns over. So maybe you spend $20 on a DVD, right? Maybe you source it off of eBay, or maybe you go to a thrift store and buy a DVD for $3. You're putting your money to work into a product, okay? And the job of that product is to go out and sell. So if you spend $3 on a DVD, the job is for that DVD or CD or that book to go out to sell and then come back with $5. So it's worked for you. This money that you turn into inventory has worked for you and it's brought back a profit. Now you have a couple choices when that occurs. You could put that profit back into your business by buying another item and snowballing it. So now instead of having one item in your inventory, now you have two. You have two little worker bees out there making you money. Or what you can do is you can say, all right, you brought back $3 in profit. I'm going to take $1 out and I'm going to buy a Rake and Profit mug or a cup of coffee. And then I'm going to have that little worker bee go out and bring another one. Or you could take both of those dollars that this little worker bee brought back to you and you can put it to work fully and just keep investing in your business to build up that snowball. Bruce Levin says, hey, Steve, binging your videos. I'm waiting for Amazon's approval. Any hints? So the way it works right now on Amazon is if you're a new seller, you've got to apply to be an Amazon seller. There's two different ways that you could sell on Amazon. Number one is as a free individual seller. Number two is going to be a professional seller, which is $39.99 a month. But in order to even get started selling on Amazon, you need to get approved. So they're going to verify your address. They're going to verify your tax information and some other credentials. And what happens is they send you a postcard to your house. And essentially that postcard is going to have a little code on it. And when you get that postcard and you receive it, you go sign back into your Amazon account, you input that little code and you'll get approved to sell. Now, the biggest challenge that people have when getting approved to sell on Amazon is they put in the wrong information. They put in the wrong tax information. They put in, a name that doesn't match the name on their bank account. Maybe they put in the wrong social security number. Most commonly, it's just information's not matching up. You got to put in your correct credit card information. You got to put in your correct bank information. And really, the reason Amazon's doing this is because there's a lot of just frauds. There's a lot of people trying to take advantage of one of the biggest, platforms in the world. And how do you get rid of the one out of the 20 bad apples? You put a verification process in line. So it's a little bit annoying, but Amazon's not like eBay. Amazon is not like eBay. What a lot of people have to realize is the sales velocity, the amount of people buying, the amount of items that are selling. Literally, when you compare Amazon to eBay, it's not even in the same ballpark. If we're going to use a baseball analogy, it's like someone playing T-ball versus someone in the major leagues. It's completely different. There's thousands of items that sell on Amazon thousands and thousands of times, whereas on eBay, there are items that sell thousands of times, but on Amazon, there's like probably 100 to 500,000 items that sell for like $1,000 to $10,000, 1 to 10,000 times a month. I'm just making that number up, but it's just completely different. If you use a software called Jungle Scout, you can actually spy on individual ASINs and products and see how many times it's selling, and you'll literally be shocked. All right. What's going on, Brian? Brian is asking, do you only sell new items on Amazon FBA? If not, what are some good examples of used inventory? We got Waterbury, Connecticut in the house. Awesome, man. I'm over here in the Hartford area myself. So when I'm selling on Amazon right now, I sell like 90% new inventory. The reason I'm doing that is because I source a lot off of Facebook Marketplace, off of eBay, off of Mercari, off of various auction websites. And I love to sell new items. The margins are typically higher, but if you're not able to find new items, there's plenty of used items that you could sell. You could sell used items or new items on Amazon FBA. Again, I want to put this out there. The key to making money on Amazon is you have to find a good supplier, whether that's a thrift store or that's an auction house or that is garage sales or flea markets or sourcing off of eBay. Having a really good supply of quality items is the most important thing that you could focus on in your business, because Amazon's a sales machine. As long as you buy stuff with a good e-score, a good rank, a good monthly turnover, if you ship that into Amazon, whether it's new or used, that inventory is going to turn over. In terms of used inventory on Amazon, a bad example is clothing. I don't even think you could sell used clothing on Amazon. You could sell new clothing. Another bad example is selling used shoes. Those items, used clothing, used shoes, things like that are better on eBay. But in terms of used items, you could sell used board games under collectible. Used books is probably one of the best items to sell. You can also sell used electronics depending on the restrictions that you have on your account. Just keep in mind with electronics, typically the refund rate is going to be a bit higher just due to, user error or maybe issues with the item not working correctly. But you could most certainly sell used items on Amazon. In terms of account safety, this is something important to talk about. If you're selling new items on Amazon, you do have to understand there is a risk involved. Okay. Now, I want to say there's a risk involved in any business. There's something that could happen in any business. I don't care if you're running a laundromat or a landscaping company or you're selling on Amazon or eBay. There's always an apocalyptic event that could happen that could put you out of business. But you have to weigh out your risk versus reward. And one of the risks of selling new items, such as what I do on Amazon, I sell a lot of new items, is if you get a counterfeit claim, if you have an issue with maybe an IP infringement or especially a counterfeit claim, Amazon's going to reach out to you and say, prove it that the item that you're selling is authentic. Prove that it's authentic. And the way that you're going to be able to prove it is by giving them a legitimate invoice. Years ago, the retail arbitrage and online arbitrage sellers would be able to prove it by sharing a Walmart receipt or sometimes even sharing like a Goodwill receipt, and they would accept that. Nowadays, they really want to see a legitimate invoice. And unfortunately, for someone like myself who thrifts a lot of items, even though the items I thrift are mostly used, unless it's, a rare new book or a board game or something like that, or a video game. In most instances, I'm sourcing from places where I can't prove that it's authentic, even though I know 99.9% certainty that it's new and it's authentic because I've sold so many items. You can't prove it. So it's almost like we are all building our business on a volcano in a sense, if you aren't buying wholesale, really. But, I think the chance of getting in trouble is probably less than like a couple of percent, but it definitely could happen. So if you're trying to figure out, should I sell used? Should I sell new on Amazon? You're going to have to weigh that out. But I think either way, if you're selling on Amazon, you definitely want to have some type of like IP alert software on your computer. I use Seller Amp. There's also another software called IP Alert. My buddy Nate McAllister created it, which will warn you about companies that are known to file infringement complaints against you for copyright and trademark issues and whatnot. But new or used items, you could sell either one of those. Hey, retired and reselling, saying love your content. I appreciate that. DV Inc. 55 is asking, should we start an LLC before getting started selling on Amazon? So, of course, I'm not a lawyer, but in terms of what I didn't start an LLC when I first started my business. It's not necessary to start an LLC, a limited liability company. What an LLC will do is give you a little bit of tax advantages and also protect you against liabilities and lawsuits, but it's not necessary to start. You can literally start selling on Amazon with an individual account. You can start, without having a company. You don't have to go to the Secretary of the State and start a company. But I would recommend down the road, once you start to build your business and you start to make some sales, you're going to definitely want to get, an LLC for protection. And once you sell more than $10,000 a month on Amazon, Amazon's actually going to require that you hold general liability insurance. For me, that's about $50 a month. So hopefully that helps. We got Side Hustle Sam in the house saying, did you order something from NC Picker? I think he called you out on his YouTube channel. I'm not sure. I have a team of virtual assistants who purchases items on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, so on and so forth. What did NC Picker say? He says, I think I called you out on the YouTube channel. Calling out sounds like it's a bad thing. Did my team do something wrong? I'm curious. Let me know. But yeah, we purchase from a lot of resellers on eBay, different items like books, DVDs, board games, and sell them on Amazon FBA. And if you could see next to me, I got a pile of like 100 items I haven't processed yet. And yeah, we buy from a lot of resellers. We get a lot of thank you notes from resellers and whatnot because a lot of people aren't taking advantage of Amazon FBA. Tommy says thrift store puts out books randomly. Each time you go, it's 100% duds. How many times do you go before you give up on that store? So the thing is about sourcing from thrift stores is, well, there's a couple things. Number one, you've got to recognize if that thrift store is selling their books online. It depends where you live. I'm in Connecticut. Most of the thrift stores aren't selling their books online, but some thrift stores are. If you're going and you've gone 5 or 10 times and you never find anything, then there's a good chance they're selling online. Most thrift stores aren't selling their stuff online because they just don't understand it yet. And when you sell books on like eBay and as a merchant, you just really don't make that much money. And a lot of these thrift stores don't understand how to sell on Amazon FBA. But if I went 4, 5, 6 times and I didn't find anything, either there's a competitor that's beating you there or they're selling their stuff online, or maybe you're coming at the wrong time. At that point, I would probably, build rapport with the employees there or the manager and just say, hey, I'm a bookseller. I sell online. I was curious, do you sell your books online? Because, I come here looking for books and I never really find anything. Or, just build rapport and say, hey, do you have books in the back? Or is there any way we could build a relationship where I can, buy a Gaylord of books from you or buy in bulk? Obviously, you don't want to go in for the kiss on the first date. Build rapport with the manager and just try to figure out what's going on. A lot of times they'll be honest with you and they'll say, hey, listen, we're selling stuff online, or hey, you got to watch out for this guy Raking Profit. He's in here every single day with this 67-year-old woman, his mom, and they're taking all the books. So, a lot of experimentation goes into going to thrift stores to find out the opportunity, to find out what are the best times to go, when are the employees and staff putting out the items. And once you figure that out and you find a couple honey holes, that's when you start to make some money. Puffles says he just thought it was from you, but he got a weird request on the DVD that was bought. Yeah, so I get a couple complaints about this, and I'll share what I mean. So what my virtual assistants do, let me put it this way. So we buy a lot of DVDs off of eBay, okay, and we sell them on Amazon. The same with Facebook Marketplace. The issue is a lot of eBay sellers stink, okay? Don't kill me, okay? I'm just saying I've bought thousands and thousands of items off of eBay, and most eBay sellers do a poor job. They lie about the condition. They'll sell an item as new, and the CD and DVD could be shaken inside, all just destroyed. The plastic could be ripped. There could be all different types of issues. A lot of eBay sellers lie about the condition, and there's only so much that I can discover based on the condition, the title, and the pictures. A lot of eBay sellers only provide 1 or 2 pictures. So if I'm going to spend, $40 on, a DVD that's new sealed that I'm going to sell on Amazon for $80 and make $20 profit, I don't want to buy an item and get it and the plastic's all ripped off, or I find out it's not authentic, or you shake it and the DVD's all like busted inside. Amazon sellers don't want to buy that stuff. So we have a script that we send out to people once we buy an item, and we say, hey, listen, it's got to meet this criteria. If it doesn't, we're going to refund the item. And that turns off a lot of people. But at the same time, I was having like 7 to 10% of my items that we were buying dealing with all these issues because these eBay sellers just don't give a damn, because it's like the wild, wild west. So I'm not sure if NC Picker had an issue with that, or there could have been some miscommunication with one of my virtual assistants, but I think I know who NC Picker is. And I believe I watch his content. I really like it. Isn't he like the one in the garage? That guy's awesome. So I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, if you're going to buy off of eBay, just know that there's going to be a certain percentage of sellers that just screw you over, that lie about the condition, that try to sell you a fake DVD or, an international version of the book, and they'll put the different cover. Like eBay sellers are super sketchy, like 10% of them. 90% are amazing. So hopefully that clears the air. We got JPA live. No, JPA Vil Skack. Hey, good morning. Glad to see you are back. Appreciate you. So Letty Contest asking, how long do you keep inventory that is not sold live on Amazon? So this is a really great question. And I just made a video about this on my YouTube channel. So that'll be coming out soon. But when I have items in my inventory, how long do I want to wait for it to sell? When do I blow it out? When do I want to get rid of it? So with my business model, I aim to sell most of my items within 60 days. 60 days and sooner, that's when I'm really trying to get rid of stuff. Now, 60 to 90 days is probably where, a good majority of stuff ends up, kind of falling out and selling. If it gets over 90 days, so I would say like 90 to like 120 days, I'll start to really cut my margins down because I want to move that inventory out. Remember, I'm spending $8,000 to $12,000 a month sourcing inventory right now. And again, I'm putting a lot of the money back in my business, but I want inventory to turn. So I'm paying close attention to the e-score. I'm paying close attention to the Keepa charts, the buy box price. Is the buy box suppressed? Is it not suppressed? How many sellers are there? Once I get over like 4 months, 4 to 6 months, sometimes I'll just blow it out, break even, small margin. But this is my business model with a lot of the items I'm going after. With books, it's definitely much slower. What new things do you sell? Electronics, I sell. I sell DVDs. I sell some new books, but mostly the books are used that I sell. Puzzles, board games, video games, toys. These are all the different types of items that I sell new on Amazon. But you could definitely sell these items as used as well. A lot of people think, oh, in order to sell on Amazon, everything has to be brand new, sealed. I'm not sure why people feel that way, but you could sell tons of used items. And like I said before, used books are definitely a great item to start off with. What's a good goal for your book inventory? Terry Scott is asking. It really depends on a couple of factors. First of all, how much money do you want to make? What's your average selling price? What's your average turnover rate? Are you going after items that flip really quick with an e-score of 50 plus? Or are you going after a lot of books that have a 10, 15 e-score, which means it's only selling 10 or 15 times over a 6-month period? You've got to factor all these things into consideration. But I would say for the average reseller, the average bookseller who wants to make $2,000 to $3,000 a month profit, you're probably going to have to get up to somewhere around like 700 to 1,000 items in your inventory in order to start really cash flowing and profiting, $2,000 to $4,000. My mom, she does $3,000 to $5,000 a month in sales. She makes about $1,000 to $2,000 a month profit. And her inventory is actually a lot of times only at 100 to 200, but we're living in Connecticut. We have UConn, we have Harvard University right around us. So we find tons of textbooks. So her average selling price and her profit margins are very, very high. But depending on where you live, you're probably going to have to source more items or maybe less if you live near a university. Where you live, if it's a very affluent, high-end, maybe, there's money in the area, people love to read, there's universities, you're going to be able to get away with having less inventory because your books are going to sell for a lot more money. Castle's Posh Closet is asking, do you sell all through Amazon FBA or FBM? So it's a great question. Should you sell on Amazon FBA or should you sell as Amazon FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant? And I would say for 99% of people, you should sell on Amazon FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. And the reason I say that is because if you sell as a merchant seller, FBM, you're going to be stuck in the business. You're going to have to store all your inventory. You're going to have to ship everything one by one. I mean, you're still going to have to list all your items, but you're going to have to wear all the hats in your business, deal with customer service, deal with refunds, returns, all that. When you sell on Amazon FBA, not only are you going to make more money typically because people are buying through the Prime program, but you can really leverage your time by just shipping everything to Amazon in one box. And when it sells, Amazon will pick it, Amazon will pack it, Amazon will ship it, Amazon will deal with customer service. And you could focus on the things that are important in your business, like hiring more team to help you source or find better suppliers or shipping out more boxes. You're not going to be bogged down in your business having to deal with every little tiny part of the business. And that's what makes eBay so difficult to scale. eBay is great. I love selling on eBay. You can sell a lot more items on eBay compared to Amazon. On Amazon, there's a lot of restrictions, there's a lot of rules, but on eBay, you could really differentiate yourself through, creating SEO rich titles, by adding more pictures, by having better conditions, a better item specific so you rank better, a better description, a better return policy, so on and so forth. On Amazon FBA, you can't do that because everybody's piggybacking under a single listing. But the reason I'm saying go FBA versus merchant is because most people are going to get burnt out selling as a merchant on Amazon because you have to wear all the hats, you have to do everything. And, if you want to take off, if you want to go on a vacation, if you want to enjoy your life, you essentially have to shut your business down as an FBM seller versus an FBA seller. When I travel the country, when I go on vacations, when I go on trips, you know what I like to do? I like to ship out like 200, 300, 400 items in advance. So then by the time I get to, Rhode Island or Florida or wherever I'm going on my vacation, it gets checked into Amazon FBA and items start selling like hotcakes. And I'm like, I'm living large, right? I think I'm some hot shot when I'm not. I'm in the hotel, like I made $1,000 today. And it's like, well, yeah, because you busted your butt, a couple of weeks before and shipped a ton of items. But that's what I love about selling on Amazon FBA is literally you could forefront your time, your workload. You could ship everything in, you could put it all in a box, and Amazon literally takes care of the rest. They pick it, they pack it, they ship it, they deal with customer service. And it's a beautiful thing. That's one of the things I really, really love about that. We got Sabrina in the house. What's going on, Sabrina? Sabrina is saying, we need one of your amazing videos about pricing books that are not sold from Amazon FBA and often not on ScoutIQ, even if the eScore is good. You are the best. So I think what Sabrina is asking, if I get this question correct, how do you price an item on Amazon if maybe Amazon's not selling it? There's nobody selling the item. There's no merchants. There's no FBA sellers. How do you choose the price? So that's a really great question. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. Number one, there's a couple tools I'd recommend: getting Seller Amp and getting Keepa. Keepa is free. I believe if you want like the bonus features, it's like 15 or 17 a month. Seller Amp, I believe, is $17 a month. But what you want to do is you want to take a look at the price history. Okay. You want to take a look at a couple of things. With Seller Amp, you can actually go into your inventory with one click to see if you've ever sold it before. If it's in your inventory, it's probably not applicable. But with Keepa, you can actually look on the actual chart and you can take a look to see where the buy box has been over the last 3-6 months, over the last year. You can see how many sellers have been on a listing as merchants or as an FBA. And you can really just get a good glimpse of what the history of that ASIN has represented. So sometimes there's not going to be any data when you scan with ScoutIQ. Maybe you'll see a really great eScore, but there's nobody selling it. So what do I sell it for? You've got to download the Keepa Chrome extension. I believe you could do it on your phone as well, but on the desktop, it'll definitely be nicer. And you just have to take a look at the chart to be able to just see what it's been doing in the past. And then you can make your best decision based on the eScore, based on the rank, and just see, just test it out. Sometimes I'm not sure what to sell the item for, and I just put it up at $60 because I have an idea that I can get that price, but I'm like, maybe it'll be a little too high. I'll test that out. I'll list it up. If nothing happens in a week or two, maybe I'll drop it to 55, drop it to 50, and you can kind of go from there. Now, one thing that I'm working on my business right now that I used to do, but I had stopped doing it, is getting a really good repricer. So a lot of people ask me, Steve, do you have a repricer? How do you reprice your inventory? In the past, I used to use a repricer called repriceit.com. I stopped using it because it was kind of messing up some of my listings. It was really good when I was only doing books, but when I started doing a lot of high-end stuff and I needed to set up new rules, I think I might have done the settings wrong, but it just didn't work out. So what I started doing is having my virtual assistant manually reprice based on my rules, and they would go in twice a week, and they're still currently going in twice a week and repricing my items based on the different factors and rules in my business. But right now I'm actually getting ready to set up a new software, and it's called Be Cool, BQOOL. So cool, instead of a C, it's a Q, Be Cool. And a lot of my friends who are doing 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month, they're using this software. It's something that, once you get 400 or 500 items in your inventory and you're sick of manually repricing, you might want to get yourself a repricer. So I'll definitely have to keep you guys in the loop with how that goes. But I actually just reached out to a couple of my buddies, and big shout out to Checkmate Flips. He's going to be hopefully giving me a hand setting that up because I'm terrible with softwares. But I heard really, really great things about Be Cool. They have some AI technology that will help to reprice your items and help you to get more sales and even price up when you're in the buy box, and just different, just AI features, which I think is really, really interesting. MGC says, how do you offset the crazy Amazon FBA fees? These really seem to take a major bite out of my profits. So for me, I don't even pay attention to the Amazon FBA fees. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean you don't pay attention to the Amazon fees? What I pay attention to is my ROI, my return on investment. I don't care if the fees are 96%. Obviously, that would be a little too high to show a profit, but all I care about is how much money did I spend on my inventory, right? Here's a DVD that I had sourced online. I don't know. I probably paid 30 or 40 bucks. I think I normally sell this for like $80 or so. All I care about is if I spend X amount of money on an item and I sell it on Amazon FBA, how much are they going to spit back to me? And what's the return on investment on that item? So for me, I'm not going to buy an item if it doesn't hit my ROI goals. So that's all I care about. Okay. I care about how much profit I'm going to make, how much ROI am I going to make, and how much time did I have to put into that in order to make that ROI? Because you could have a 40% ROI and make $8, but if it took you 2 hours to source that item on eBay, it's not efficient. So I've, built out a system where I have virtual assistants who source items for me. I have a process where they help me to list my items. I have a process for how I ship it into Amazon FBA. And then I have a process for how I manage my inventory. So those are the things that I'm really looking at. You can't control the fees on Amazon FBA. The reason I sell on Amazon FBA is because that's where I get my biggest bang for my buck. Yes, the fees probably come to like 30, 40% on Amazon for different items. But if I could sell this and make, $30 profit, and it only took me 6 minutes of my time based on the systems that I built out in my business, even if the eBay fees are half as less, but I make less money on eBay and I spend more time, well, which one are you going to go for? It's all about ROI on your time, how much profit, and just return on your investment. Tommy's asking, any bad experience where someone confronted you for scanning books? What do you tell people you're doing? That's a really great question. One of the things that a lot of people get held back by when they're selling on Amazon and going into thrift stores and scanning items is like, what am I going to do if someone says, what are you doing scanning? What are you going to do if an employee asks you, why are you scanning the books? And my mom and I, we used to always be so nervous. I would be like hiding and like scanning my books, and I was so nervous. But what I realized over the years is most people don't care. And the people that are looking, they're just curious. They're like, what is this person doing scanning books? Like, they don't have a Savers or a Goodwill outfit on or a uniform. Are they working with the CIA? Most people are just curious. And a lot of times if people ask me, what are you doing? I just say, I have a book business. I sell books on Amazon, and I'm just scanning the books. It tells me how much money I make and profit. And, for some people, they're going to be like, I don't want to tell my secrets. And, funny story. One time I was at Goodwill, and one of my buddies, we weren't friends at the time. We became friends, but I knew he was a bookseller because I saw him scanning with the software and stuff. He had like 20 or 30 books in his cart. He brought it up to the Goodwill checkout desk, and he was checking out. And the woman asked, what are you doing with all these books? Like, why do you have all of these books? And instead of saying I sell books on Amazon, he was really nervous. And he said, well, I'm building a bookshelf and I'm filling up my bookshelf with all these books. And my mom and I started laughing because we knew that he got really nervous. The truth is, most thrift stores, most workers, most people at the thrift store are just curious about what you're doing. They don't care that you're scanning books. But there are 1% of the people who are going to hate your guts. I've never had an instance where someone called me out like, what you're doing is wrong. I've had a couple like slight instances, which I can talk about, but most people are just curious. And sometimes people want you to teach them how to do it. Now, I typically don't go as far as teaching them on the spot how to take the honey out of a honey hole. But most people are just curious. Most thrift stores are grateful you're buying items as long as you don't make a mess at the thrift store and you're not a slob and you don't make it look like a tornado come flying through. Most people honestly don't care. And, like I said, I built a lot of friends with these thrift stores and the workers. And a lot of times they'll say, hey, Steve, we got a bunch of new books coming out, or there's video games, or hey, we got all these toys that are coming out. And they'll just kind of give you a heads up. So, it's great to build relationships with the people there, but the customers, don't pay them any mind. If they're staring you down, a lot of times they're just like, what is this person doing? Like, are they, sometimes people think like you're trying to steal their identity or doing something sketchy. So I don't try to hide it. If they ask, I just be honest and I tell them what I'm doing. That was a great question, Tommy. Let's see. I'm just looking through some of the questions. If you guys have questions, let me know. Let me take a sip of this coffee, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Drop a comment right now and let me know where you are in your Amazon business. Are you a new seller? Let me know. Are you trying to get approved? Are you an eBay seller? Let me know why you came to the stream, what questions you have, where you stand right now in your business. I would love to know. Justin's asking, how many books per week do you need to be able to source to make it worth it with fees? It really depends. Like I said, I wish I can give you a cookie cutter answer. If you're finding 10 textbooks a week that each make you $10 profit and it has a 30-day sell-through rate, then it's going to be worth it for you because you can make $400 or $500 profit a month. If you're finding 100 books a week and the average e-score is 10 or 12 and items are taking 3 to 4 months to sell, you're really going to have to build up an inventory of 1,000 to 2,000 to really make it worthwhile. And if you're spending $3 or $4 on those long tail items, it's just going to be hard for you to make a profit. So there's really no cookie cutter answer. For most people, I say you're going to need 500 to 1,000 books in your inventory to start making a couple $1,000s a month or more. But again, it really depends on how cheap can you get the books? What's the e-score? What's the sales rank? How long does it take for them to turn over? How good of a job are you doing repricing your items? What's your pricing model? Are you pricing it to sell or are you trying to get top dollar? So these are all factors. But again, typically I would say if you can source 100 books a week, quality books, and you're experimenting with libraries, with thrift stores, with auctions, sourcing offline, various methods, building relationships on Facebook Marketplace, you'll definitely be able to do it. But the biggest mistake people make is they only go to thrift stores, and maybe their thrift stores aren't that great, or there's scanners that are smarter that have been doing it for a while. So you've got to really crack out of your shell and experiment with different ways to source items. That's the best advice I could say. And again, I wish I could give you a cookie cutter answer, but it really, really depends. Candace says, I've been selling mainly books for 2 months. I'm looking to move to online arbitrage, get approved for Nike and Adidas. Well, you can definitely do that. One resource I would recommend is my good friend Miles. He has a YouTube channel called Flip 4 Miles. He's 23. He's doing about 200 grand per month in sales with online arbitrage. He does mostly Lego, Nike, and Adidas. He makes around $20,000 to $25,000 a month. Now he is spending $100,000 a month on inventory. So not everybody's going to have the ability to access that much credit and that much capital, but you could definitely start online arbitrage on a much smaller budget with just a couple $100. Obviously it's going to take some time and suffering to build that up, but follow my friend Flip for Miles on YouTube. He's got some great content and I've been learning a ton from him. Evan says, I'm having a hard time finding books in my area. They are either restricted or just not enough profit on them. Evan, like I mentioned before, don't only go to thrift stores. Check out libraries, check out Facebook Marketplace, check out auctions, even check eBay. You can check all different types of locations, pallets, liquidation. There's so many different ways to find books. But if your area just doesn't have a lot of books and you're trying all these different places and you're just struggling and there's a lot of competitors out there, books might not be the best item for you to sell, right? maybe Amazon in general might not be the best place for you to sell. You might be better selling on eBay. Maybe you have a ton of sports equipment or a ton of tools or a ton of electronics. So, that's why it's important to watch these videos, to go out to your thrift stores, go out to your auctions, go out to your garage sales, experiment and see what works best for you. Because what works for me may not work for you at all. Okay, you got to understand we all have different situations, all have different skill sets, demographics, passions. These all will come into play. But guess what? Evan, if you can't find any books in your area, there's literally tons of other items that you could come across. And unfortunately, one of the downsides to books is there are a lot of restrictions with textbooks. So that's been something that's been happening over the last couple of years. More and more textbooks are becoming restricted, and there's really no way to get ungated or unrestricted in textbooks. The only advice I can give you is to send your restricted textbooks to restrictedinventory.com. They'll sell it on their account on your behalf and then split the profits 50-50. So books might not be the best option for you. And if that's the case, just keep watching videos, keep watching, your favorite YouTube channels about reselling. And there's a million different items and strategies for reselling. All because I'm sharing what I do doesn't mean what I'm doing is the best. I found a way that works for me with my capital, with my experience, with my credit, with my risk tolerance, so on and so forth. And for you, it might not be books. It might not be online arbitrage. It could be private label. It could be wholesale. What is the best listing software to be able to list on Amazon? So there's two softwares that most people are using right now. I'm using a software called AccelerList, and this software works really, really great for me. I'm actually looking into a new software possibly called Inventory Lab. It pretty much does the same thing, but there's some integrations that they have with repricers. I'm looking into starting to use Be Cool Repricer, and I know they have an integration that would help with like creating my custom SKUs and populating different fields. But a lot of people are using AccelerList to list. The most popular is Inventory Lab in terms of listing your products. I can't say it enough. Do not list your items on Amazon Seller Central. It is a complete waste of time. Now, I know if you're new and you don't have a big budget and a big bankroll and you're not making any money, it stinks having to spend money on subscriptions, right? Because I think Inventory Lab and AccelerList is like somewhere between 30 to 50 a month. AccelerList, I'm not sure what that is. I forget. I think it's 20 or 30. And I think inventory is like $50 a month. And, nobody wants to pay a subscription when you're not making any money. So you could start listing on Amazon Seller Central, but just know it's going to take you 2 to 3 times as long because their system is inefficient. They ask you a million questions that you don't have to answer. And it's probably the most annoying thing I've ever done in my life, having to list on Amazon Seller Central. Once you can, get yourself AccelerList, AccelerList, or Inventory Lab and start listing. It'll help you to grow your business like nothing else. As long as you have good inventory, man, I'll never go back to listing on Amazon Seller Central. Never, ever, ever again. Justin is asking, is the Amazon repricing tool good enough, or do I need to separate or get a new repricing tool? Also, are ads worth it? So most people who are selling secondhand items like myself and doing online arbitrage, we're not running ads. Usually it's the people who, or maybe the only seller on the listing or like private label sellers, they're running PPC campaigns, paid pay-per-click advertising. So you don't have to worry about running ads. In terms of a repricing tool, most people say that the Amazon repricing tool isn't very good. So I'd recommend using Be Cool, or I'd recommend Reprice It if you're a bookseller and you're new. Those seem to be the most popular. There's also another one called Aura that a lot of sellers are using. And then there's a couple other ones like Max Channel, and there's another one like Seller Snap, but those are more for like the high-end seller. So I think those are the best options. And again, I'm going to be starting to implement Be Cool because right now my virtual assistants are manually repricing everything after I had some issues with Reprice It. So I'm getting to the point now where my inventory is over 1,500. It's going to be probably hitting 2,000 in the next few weeks because I just shipped out like 700 items and I have a freaking box. I have 5 boxes right next to me getting ready to go out today. So I've got to get my repricer going. I know for a fact I am losing money right now by not having a repricer. But you build your business in stages. You can watch all the TikToks and YouTube videos you want, and you can see somebody who's selling 6 or 7 figures, but you got to understand they're like 20, 30, 50 phases or stages ahead of you. Everybody starts at square one. You start off by learning how to find a good supply of inventory. Then you learn, obviously how to analyze all your inventory. Then you learn how to ship it all in. And then you learn how to get yourself a repricer. And then you learn how to hire a virtual assistant. I mean, it goes in phases. So depending on where you are right now, you might not need a repricer. You might not need a listing software. Right now, what you may need to focus on is just learning how to use ScoutIQ, learning how to use SellerAmp, learning how to read Keepa charts, learning how to scan barcodes, learning how to find inventory and not to be a scaredy cat at the thrift store because people are looking at you. Been there, done that. That used to be me. So you've really got to evaluate, where are you right now in your business? What phase are you in? What's the next step that you can take? And just keep focusing on taking the next step forward. That's all I'm doing right now myself. Do you do any retail arbitrage? I'm not really doing much retail arbitrage now because I have an unlimited source of items that I can source. Oh, there's my mom right now, just passing my house. She must have been coming from the Goodwill in Bloomfield. I'm in Connecticut, but I don't really do much retail arbitrage because I just have unlimited supply online. Sourcing pallets online, sourcing off of eBay, sourcing off of Facebook Marketplace. I mean, I could literally source as many books, as many DVDs, as many puzzles, as many board games, as many CDs, as many electronic items, as many home and office items as I possibly would ever want just on eBay by itself. So I'm not really doing retail arbitrage. And the thing that I don't really necessarily like about retail arbitrage is just the race to the bottom. And like, if you go to Target or Walmart and something's clearanced off, they're doing it all over the country. So I've never really mastered retail arbitrage. I still haven't mastered online arbitrage, not even close, but I'm not really doing much RA. I'm mostly just doing thrifting, flea markets, garage sales, and OA. Where do you get a virtual assistant? So there's a couple places to get a virtual assistant for your Amazon business. Upwork.com, Fiverr.com. Those are great, but they're expensive. I would recommend getting a Filipino virtual assistant by going to onlinejobs.ph. It is a monthly subscription if you want to be able to like get some added benefits. I do think they have a free version as well, but you can hire virtual assistants on onlinejobs.ph for $2 to $3. I have 3 full-time virtual assistants. My manager, I think she's at $3.50 or $4 an hour. She sources, she manages my inventory, does a bunch of different things, helps me with listing products on Reseller list. I have a whole system. And then I have another girl who does sourcing and she manages some of my spreadsheets. She's at $2.50 an hour. So, and then I have other virtual assistants who help me, with my YouTube channel and different things that are getting $6 to $8 an hour. But the great thing about hiring a virtual assistant from the Philippines is the wages are just different, right? Like if you make $4 an hour in the Philippines or $3 an hour, that's like making like 15 or 20 bucks an hour out here. It's just completely different. So that's where I go to get my virtual assistants, and you can really hire some fantastic people on onlinejobs.ph, but you've got to have skills in terms of how to read people, how to test them to make sure they're going to do what they say. You have to build out guidelines and training, and you've really got to manage them. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they hire a virtual assistant is they have a bunch of inefficiencies in their business, and then they hire a virtual assistant to do their job that they already do inefficiently. And all that does is just scale a bad system. So if you're going to hire a virtual assistant in your Amazon business, make sure that you build out really good systems. Create a training video, create an SOP, a standard operating procedure. Just write out step by step what you want done. I like to use a software called Loom. And what I do is I create screen share videos of all the different parts of my business. And then I have a Google Sheet that has it's like a course. I literally created a course for my team. So for every little process in my video, I hate writing. So I just create a video. I'll create a step-by-step training video, download the Loom video, throw it into the spreadsheet. And just like a course or a curriculum would say, how to list, how to ship, how to price, I have like 150 videos archived inside of, my little training Google Doc with everything titled and hyperlinked to these Loom videos. So if any of my people ever leave or they don't understand how to do a process. Literally, they just watch the video. And if they screw something up, it's because they're not paying attention to the SOP. So it's not me getting mad at them. It's like, hey, listen, the SOP says to do this. You've got to follow the SOP, the standard operating procedure. So that's a really big tip. If you're going to hire a virtual assistant, make sure that you have a good system in place, because you're just going to blow up your business in a bad way if you don't build systems and you don't manage your team properly. What would you recommend to someone just starting with online arbitrage? What I would probably recommend is just starting small, making sure that whatever product you're going after, making sure that first and foremost, you understand what IP complaints are and IP restrictions. There's a lot of items that you can sell on Amazon, but if you go to sell it, the company is going to hit you with a IP infringement complaint, which you get your account suspended or can just get you banned entirely off of Amazon. So that's step number one, getting yourself like an IP alert software using Seller Amp. Secondly, any products you purchase, make sure you have good, healthy margins and make sure that you are reading the Keepa charts to understand what's going on. Is Amazon on the listing? If Amazon's on the listing and you're trying to sell it for over Amazon price, or maybe they're jumping on and off the listing, you're going to get yourself into trouble. If the merchant price is super low and the FBA price is ridiculously high, there's a good chance there could be a race down to the bottom to meet that merchant price. So those are a couple things to keep in mind. Also, if you're selling an item like a shoe, make sure you understand how to read the charts in terms of the variations of a product. You know, I do a lot of sourcing off of eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I like to do that because not a lot of people are doing it. I am dealing with items that are a bit more dangerous than maybe selling Lego or Nike or Adidas because I don't have legitimate invoices. So again, I could come to you guys one day and be like, my account's banned, suspended. I guess I'm going to have to find a new solution. But the margins are a lot higher. So I like what I do, but it's risky. But if you're going to do, you know, anything like Nike or Adidas or Lego, you're going to have to get ungated. So I would recommend spend some time buying from some sources to get ungated for Nike and Adidas. If you want to get ungated with Lego, all you have to do is buy at least 10 items off of lego.com, send that invoice to Amazon, and bada bing, bada boom, the profits are coming soon. You're going to be ungated. All right, let me take a break for a second. Hey, you're welcome, guys. I appreciate everybody on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Appreciate all the love, guys. Appreciate all the comments. I do this part-time and don't have a lot of time to search for books after work. Yeah, so if you don't have a lot of time and you're working a full-time job, one great way to be able to source inventory is literally online arbitrage. This is what I do. I source most of my items off of eBay, off of Facebook Marketplace, which they do have a shipping option now. You can buy items off of Poshmark, off of Etsy, even Craigslist, right? Craigslist isn't as prominent nowadays, but you can source items, analyze items online, and let them literally just get shipped directly to your house. Obviously, you know, it takes a bit more skill to be able to source online, and I probably wouldn't recommend it for the beginner. But if you don't have time to go out and source, which it's extremely time consuming, learn about online arbitrage, guys. If you want to learn more about that, I can definitely make more videos. I know I've been focusing a lot on books and, you know, different things like that, but I've mostly shifted my business to online arbitrage. I still love thrifting. I still go to garage sales. I still sell on eBay, but online arbitrage is a great way to be able to source inventory and save time. And I was actually just watching a video yesterday on Flip for Miles YouTube channel. He was interviewing a guy who works 50 to 60 hours a week. And I think he was doing, I don't know what he was doing. Like, I think he had scaled up to like 10,000 a month profit. And he was just doing online arbitrage, just buying off of online websites and getting it shipped directly to him. And then he did everything. He wasn't even using a prep center. So it's possible. So if you're not finding items in your area and it's not worth your time, look into online arbitrage, start watching videos. I'm going to shout some people out. Appreciate you, Puffles, being in the house. We got Flied Coast Flips in England. Loose Van 1 is asking, how do you find library sales to be able to source books to sell on Amazon? One of the best websites I'd recommend is booksalefinder.com. Booksalefinder.com will essentially put all the book sales in your area in one place, and you can see where it's located, a lot of times how many books, the dates, so on and so forth. Now, Book Sale Finder is great. And remember, there is going to be a lot of resellers that go. So make sure you have a Bluetooth scanner. Make sure you have your phone ready. Make sure you have, database mode downloaded on ScoutIQ. But booksalefinder.com is a great way to be able to find book sales, to find inventory for your Amazon business. Why is my nose so itchy? Excuse me. I got an itchy nose today. All right. I'm not picking. I promise you, I'm not picking. I'm just scratching. Do you bid on high bid? I don't think I've used that before. Is that like an auction site, I believe? Castle Posh Closet. I have lots of books and DVDs listed elsewhere. I need to free up space and want to send books to Amazon if approved. There are lots of books sourced in my area. Thank you for your tips. If you have a lot of inventory and you're selling it on eBay, you're selling it on Facebook Marketplace, especially media items, especially brand new items sealed, definitely sell it on Amazon. So really what you're going to have to do is step one, go to Amazon Seller Central, sign up for either a free individual account or a $40 a month plan. If you're new, just sign up for the free plan, get approved. Amazon's going to send you out a postcard, verify all your tax information, your credit card information, your bank information. And then what you're going to want to do is start getting ungated. So if you want to sell DVDs or you want to sell any restricted brands like Lego, go to their website, buy at least 10 items from the website, and then send in an invoice to Amazon, and then you'll get ungated. If you want to sell like DVDs, go to Alliance Entertainment. Make sure you have a reseller certificate. You're going to need that. Buy at least 10 of a DVD, get the invoice from Alliance Entertainment, send it over to Amazon, and bada bing, bada boom, you're ungated and the profits are coming soon. All right, let's see how many times I could scratch my nose in this live stream. All right. Oh, I love this name, Dog Bed and Breakfast. I started out by clearing out my own house of unwanted books and items. This is one of the best ways to start a reselling business. Literally, start cleaning out your house. The average person has $3,000 to $5,000 worth of profits in their house, right? Where did I get that statistic from? That legitimate statistic? I just made it up. But from my experience, from the hundreds and thousands of people that I've helped to sell on eBay and Amazon, we have so many items at our house that are worth money. I had a friend who had found a brand new CD player in his house. It was a Sony CD player. He sold it for $450. Now that's an extreme example, but there's books, textbooks, DVDs, brand new sealed puzzles that, you got from grandma 20 years ago that sell for $150 online. Download the eBay app, download the Amazon app, and start scanning as many things as possible. At first, you probably don't even have to go out to the thrift stores or garage sales. Start selling stuff from your house. And I promise you, that's the best return and the best ROI you're ever going to get, because literally it costs you nothing, or, at least you had paid for it in the past and now it's like free money for you. So don't be scared to start looking around your house. So many profits in our house that we don't even freaking realize. It's crazy. Retired in Reselling says, do you prefer YouTube or TikTok? I love both of them. They're both different. I like YouTube for long form, I guess more boring content in a sense. It's less like, not scammy, but it's just less like hypey, like try to go viral. Cause like I never go viral on YouTube. On TikTok, like you can have a video just go psycho. I had a video that got 2.5 million views the other day. Instagram Reels are starting to do that too. For anyone creating content, TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, they're all trying to compete with TikTok right now. It's absolutely insane, guys. My Instagram went from like 60,000 to 72,000 in like the last couple of weeks. I got like over 3,000 new Instagram followers in the last couple of days because the Instagram Reels are just going nuts. So if you're trying to create a following at all, which can be really great to network, can even be lucrative, ways to, monetize it, TikTok and Instagram Reels, insane right now. But YouTube's, my bread and butter. I've got 2,000 plus videos on my YouTube channel at Rake and Profit. That's pretty much where I'm known for. But I love both, but TikTok's a lot of fun. Oh, here's a great question. How many times a week should I visit the same thrift store? For example, my local Goodwill, I don't want to be scanning the same book. So this is a really great question. So I guess I'll answer this based on what my mom does. So you guys all know my mom, she's 67, she retired, selling books. She does 3,000 to 5,000 a month. We all know that. She goes to the same thrift store, sometimes 1 to 2 times a day. And what she's really done is she's learned the color coordinate system at our thrift store. So at our thrift store, every book has a tag on it, and there's 5 different colors, and they cycle out the tags every single week. So she's always looking for the newest color. And every time she goes into the thrift store, she's just scanning the new colors. So if you go in every single day and you know where they put the books and what the colors are, you can go every single day. And that's the key, because you never know when a good book or a good piece of inventory is going to come out. So know the color coordinate system, know when they're bringing out the books, and know where they put it. My Goodwill, they stuff the books in all areas of the shelves. At Savers, they're putting it at the end caps. So the more you can get to know your thrift store when they bring it out, what's the color system, the better off you're going to be. But there's no right or wrong answer in terms of how often should I go? How often are new products and new inventory being wheeled out by the carts? What type of area do you live in? Are there tons of stuff getting donated, or is there only a couple of items getting donated? These are all different things that you're going to have to consider by experimenting. One tip that I love to give you, and I used to do this all the time, is I would have a little notebook in my car. And what I would do is I would write down the date and the time that I got to my thrift store. So say for example, July 15th, Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And then I'd go into the thrift store, and when I came back out, I'd write a little note sharing how did I do? I purchased this many items, this much potential profit. And I created a little diary for a couple of months. And what that did is that taught me the best times, the best days, and just the best opportunities to find inventory. And what you'll figure out over time is there's certain days, there's certain times where the workers are bringing out new inventory, maybe when your competition's not coming, and that little exercise can help you a ton. So I'm curious, drop a 1 in the comments if you guys have ever done anything like that. Drop a 2 if you're like, man, that's an interesting idea. I think I'm going to do that. I would love to know your thoughts on that. Do you give your virtual assistants passwords? So this is a great question. Do I give my virtual assistants passwords to my eBay account and to my Amazon account? So on eBay, I do give them my password because the like the team mode on eBay is really, really bad. So you're going to have to trust them with your password. There's really nothing they could really do because they can't see my credit card to purchase. It only shows the last 4 digits. But again, most virtual assistants aren't going to steal from you. And I'm not going to just give a random VA, my credentials at first. On Amazon, you never, ever, ever in a million years want to give anybody your login and password. If you want to give anybody like a bookkeeper or a virtual assistant access to your Amazon account, you can do that, but you want to go into your settings, click user access, and give them access to your account for only certain parts of your business. You don't want to give them the ability to change your credit card or change your payout method. You can, on Amazon, you can break down what areas they can see. Like maybe they can only see reports, or maybe they can only add products. So that's how I deal with virtual assistants with my eBay and Amazon business. So you got to be careful, but that's pretty much how I do it. Joe151 says, I started reselling in 2013 in Connecticut, where I was from, and it was like Christmas every day. There were so many good items in thrift stores for low prices, but now everything is so expensive. It's true. The prices at thrift stores are just getting absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to say this once, and I'm only going to say it once. If your business is 100% reliant upon finding profitable products from thrift stores to sell online, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Buying from thrift stores can be extremely lucrative. It's still extremely lucrative, but it's absolutely with 100% certainty an uncertain way to source inventory. You cannot be certain that you're always going to find inventory. You can't control how they price their items. You can't control their donations. You can't control if they're selling it to a middleman. You can't control the competition. Thrift stores are a fantastic way to source, but it's an easy way to literally hold your business down and put your business on life support because your business, the bloodline, the life force of your business is consistently finding profitable items to list on eBay or to send into Amazon FBA. If you're only relying on thrift stores, you're going to get in big, big trouble. And a lot of the people that I coach and I mentor and I talk to and friends, the reason their business isn't scaling is they haven't mastered the ability to source items. You've got to find a way to source. Easier said than done. I'm not sitting here telling you, it's so easy to just source hundreds and thousands of items. If it was, every single person in the world would be doing it. Now, there are people who can get away making a full-time income only sourcing from thrift stores. And there's some people, even like my mom, who, she's 67. She has no desire to make $10,000 a month, nor does she have the energy or the time to want to do it. She wants to enjoy her life. She wants to make $1,000 to $2,000 a month profit, and she just wants to visit a couple thrift stores. We luckily have a couple honey holes. We have had a lot more competitors come into our honey holes and take the honey out. But, it depends on your age. It depends on your goals. Thrift stores are fine if you want to do it part-time, but if you're really trying to make like $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month profit, you're going to be in trouble only sourcing from thrift stores. All because you're doing it right now, making $10,000 a month with thrift stores. The exception does not make the rule. I'm sure there's people out there making a killing only with thrift stores, but that's a generalization, or that's an exception to the rule, right? I'm generalizing in a sense for most people. We got Kat in the house. What up? Much love to Lawrence. Rosalind's asking, hello, I just got my account verified and I want to start with book selling. Can you help me with tips, ScoutIQ rank, eScore, trigger settings, and anything for me to look out for? So if you're a brand new seller and you're just starting to sell books, the best tip that I can give you is to get ScoutIQ 100%, because ScoutIQ is going to have triggers and it's going to have rules set up. They're going to set you up for success, and they're going to have the eScore metric. So the eScore is going to share with you how many times that book has had a sale, at least once a day over the last 6 months. If you're new, I would probably stick with an eScore of over 10, and I would stick with books that have under 1 million rank. Again, that's a generalization. Sometimes I'll break those rules, but that's a great generalization. In terms of custom triggers on ScoutIQ, don't change them. Just keep them the way they are. The person, close friend of mine, Caleb Roth, who created ScoutIQ, is one of the most successful booksellers, and he created that in mind for the new seller. So do not change the custom triggers at all. And the biggest thing that I can say is, like I was saying before, find a good source. Visit your thrift stores, visit your libraries, check out different ways to source on Facebook Marketplace, on eBay, wanted ads, Nextdoor app, auctions, flea markets. You've got to find a good source. If you're only sourcing one way, you're going to probably most likely get yourself into trouble. So that's the best advice I can give. Don't touch the custom triggers. Focus on an eScore that's 10 plus, and make sure that you have healthy margins. Don't be buying books as a new seller that's only going to make $2 to $3 profit, because what's going to happen is there's going to be price wars and you're going to end up losing money. Or if you do sell a book, you're only going to make $1 to $2 profit, and you want to have a good enough margin to where if you do have to lower your price, you could still make money. And if your item does sell for what you did list that at, you can make a really nice profit. And remember, when you're new, when you're just starting your business, you're profiting on your items if there's good margins, but you're not really able to take that money out and spend it, because you're having to reinvest your money back into new inventory. Because if you want to make more money, you've got to build your inventory. How do you build your inventory? By spending money on inventory. So you might be profiting, but you're not cash flowing. Cash flow is the extra money outside of your income and expenses, outside of what you're having to invest in a new product to be able to pay yourself. So in the beginning, you need healthy margins to have that profit, to build more inventory, to build your business. So hopefully that makes sense. God damn, I am talking a lot today. I just joined. Are you recording this? Can I access this information? Yeah. So for anybody who's watching on TikTok, this is live on YouTube as well. So if you go to my YouTube channel at Rake and Profit, just like my TikTok, Rake and Profit _, just type in Rake and Profit, subscribe to my channel, and this is going to be recorded over there. I'm also going to take a bunch of these clips and put them on TikTok as well, like the really good questions. Hey, appreciate you guys. If you're enjoying this video, smash that like button, guys. Show me some love. Let me know you're enjoying this content. If you want me to do more Q&As like this, if you guys are getting value, I used to do these a lot more and I kind of fell off. And I think I'm really letting you guys down by not doing this because I don't know, for me at least, learning, like having someone answer my questions is really valuable. I don't know if this is helpful for you. I'll probably hang on for a couple more minutes, but definitely let me know. So someone's asking, you said you box things and send to Amazon. How do you get paid? So the way you get paid on Amazon is an automatic payment to your account. So when you sign up for an Amazon account, they're going to ask for a credit card to pay your like monthly subscription and your fees and whatnot. And then they're going to ask for a bank account. So the way it works on Amazon is most sellers, such as myself, we get paid in a 2-week cycle. So when you sell an item, the profit that you make from that item minus the fees and everything are going to go into kind of like an escrow account on Amazon. If you go to your main page, you'll be able to see how much money is sitting in there. And then they'll tell you when they're going to be dispersing your payment. So every single 2 weeks, 2-week period. Some people are at 1 week. Some people are at daily. Some of the old grandfathered in Amazon sellers. But for me, I get paid every 2 weeks. The money as it sells every day goes into the escrow account. And when that 2-week period hits, you get that money dispersed directly to your bank account. Amazon gives you all the reports and everything so you can see what the fees were their returns, your storage fees, everything is broken down into that report. One of the things I love about selling on Amazon over eBay is when someone buys an item, like you automatically get paid. Now, sometimes the item could go into a pending mode, but one of the things I hate about eBay is you ever sell an item on eBay and then a week later, the person's never paid and they're like, oh, could you cancel it? My toddler purchased it by accident. So you're telling me your toddler logged into your eBay account, found a specific item and purchased it with your credit card. I don't know how these kids are getting really smart nowadays. On Amazon, you don't have to deal with that. Some items will fall out because pending or a failed payment, but when you buy an item on Amazon, it automatically pays for it. So I can't stand that about eBay. I just absolutely cannot stand that. Drives me freaking nuts. What happens if you sell a book on Amazon? You send it to Amazon. It's in good condition, has highlights in it. You put it in the description and then, it has water damage and they returned it back to you. So you're saying are you saying that? I don't understand what the question is. So you're saying they sent it back and they damaged it? What happens if a book you sent to Amazon was in good condition and it has highlights in it and put it in description? They got it back. I don't understand that question. Maybe you could ask it one more time. I want to answer it correctly. How's Mama Profit doing? She's doing fantastic. I just saw her drive by my house. I've got a little setup right here I can show you. So I'm here on YouTube. Those are all my shipments that are getting ready to go out. They're already boxed up. There's 5 boxes, more inventory. I'll show you guys on YouTube too. I'm not gonna leave you guys out. This is my little setup right here. Got the coffee. I saw Mama Profit drive by the front of the house. Those are some of the shipments right there in inventory, getting ready to go out. But she's doing great, man. She's living it up. She's living the dream, right? What do you think of Zen Arbitrage? I've never used Zen Arbitrage. Can you sell books with Amazon FBA? Absolutely. I've been doing it for years. Funky ass white boy. That's an interesting name. Got a little funk, a little spunk. What's going on? Appreciate the love. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let me see what we got for comments here. Oh, this is such a good question, guys. This is such a good question. 5 years from now, what is going to be worth more money? $5,000 worth of gold or $5,000 worth of unopened Lego? I believe that $5,000 worth of unopened Lego is going to be worth a lot of money. I believe that $5,000 worth of unopened Lego is going to be worth a lot more money. And the reason is that a lot of Lego, when they retire, they skyrocket in value. I mean, some of these Lego items that are retired, they go up 200, 300, 400% in 1 to 2 years. I do not see gold doing that at all. You know, if inflation keeps going up, I think gold will definitely continue to increase in value, but it's not going to increase in the same amount of value that that Lego increases. That's 100% certainty. The only way you'd get yourself in trouble with Lego is if you buy a bunch of Lego that doesn't retire, because the reason why Lego increases in value is because it retires, and then there's a supply and demand issue, and people you know, they will pay whatever it takes to get that box of Lego, you know. So 100% Lego is going to be worth a lot more for sure. No doubt about it. And I invest in Lego. One of my best friends invests a lot of money into Lego. Lego is one of my investments. And yeah, I've made videos about it in the past. So here's a really great question. When I'm sourcing off of Facebook Marketplace, or I'm sourcing off of eBay, or I'm sourcing on any website, how do I know that the book or the DVD is going to be profitable? Because obviously when you're at a thrift store, you can actually scan the item with your phone, and you'll know how much money it's worth. So what I do and what my team does is we actually pull out our phone, we pull out the Amazon seller app, and we actually scan the cover of the item, of the DVD or the book, or we type in the ASIN or the title into the Amazon seller app, and we pull off the information, and we analyze it that way. Also, if you're sourcing off of eBay or anything, you can pull up your listing on Amazon, and I have a Chrome extension called Seller Amp, which will share with me how many monthly sales it has, you know, how much profit I'll make if I buy it for X amount, how many sellers there are, what's the lowest FBA price. So essentially I'm analyzing it the same exact way. The only thing that I'm doing differently, or the only situation different, is I don't have that DVD or that item in my physical hands. So I could just scan it on the actual screen, and that'll pull up. Or if it doesn't scan, I'll just type in the title, the ASIN, the ISBN, and then I'll just break down, you know, the profit margins, the return on investment, and just analyze it that way. So it's pretty much the same way as just analyzing it in the physical form. KT Treasures. What's up, KT Treasures in the house? Going to throw you on the screen. Give KT Treasures some love. Have been noticing reels and TikToks from you more often, and they are great. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, it's just, there's so much reach now on TikTok and IG reels. It's just absolutely insane. It's just absolutely insane how many people you can reach now. Um, Wax Clothing Company says Amazon FBA received my shipment, and then they lost it and told me it never arrived and paid me no compensation. So there's a couple tips that I would give you if Amazon ever loses your stuff. Okay. Number one, create a support ticket. Reach out to Amazon and say, hey, I shipped you all these items. You could see inside of the Amazon portal, I shipped you all these items, and you said that you never received it. I want to get compensated. And sometimes they'll compensate you. What they're requiring nowadays, and it really stinks, is they want an itemized invoice of all of your items. Unfortunately, if you're going to thrift stores, or you're doing what I'm doing, sourcing off of eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, all these different places, I don't have an itemized invoice. They're not going to just accept a bunch of eBay receipts. So certain percentage of the time you're going to get screwed. That's the bad news. The good news is 99.9% of the time, your items are going to arrive perfectly. Maybe 5% of the time, there could be an item missing, and you can check for discrepancies. For example, when you ship like a shipment to Amazon, maybe they're expecting 24 and they only said they received 23. So the best advice is to open up a case. I also use a website called, what's it called? Reimbursement. Let me look this up really quick. Amazon FBA reimbursement service. What is this called again? Trying to find it. I'm trying to Google it right now, what I use. Anyways, I forgot, but there's services out there that will connect to your Amazon Seller Central and fight on your behalf to open cases and help you to get money back. It's like AMZ refund, or just type in Amazon refund service. There's services that you can connect to that will help you to get money back. But unfortunately, sometimes they lose it and you get screwed, but 99.9% of the time, your inventory is going to get there perfectly fine. And let's just say, they lose one shipment or two shipments per year. If you average that out over a year, I mean, really, how much money are you really losing? Think about it. If you run like a brick and mortar store, what percentage of items are going to get damaged by customers? What percentage of items are going to get stolen by customers? It stinks, when it's easy to just say, it's part of the business, but it is, there's pros and cons to any business you run. And I'm not here to tell you that Amazon's perfect. I'm not here to tell you eBay's perfect or Facebook Marketplace is perfect. They all have issues. And I don't know. Maybe there's some people out there who have some better advice for how you handle it, but I haven't really mastered that area myself. So here's a great question. They said, MGC 1022, this question might be too personal, but does the bankroll you put into new items purely come from profit from selling inventory, or are there other means? So when I'm purchasing inventory, I'm always purchasing my inventory with a credit card. In terms of my credit card strategy, I cycle through credit cards depending on if there's like any bonuses for spending X amount. Like recently, I just got what was that card called? The American Express Platinum. Because if I spent 15,000 within 6 months or something, I get $1,000 bonus or 100,000 points. I also did that with a Chase card, and I actually just did that now. I just got a new Capital Spark credit card, which I believe is $1,000 cash back. So I cycle through credit cards. So I always use credit. I know that's not your question. Your question is, when you're buying inventory, is that from your profit? Is that, just free cash flow? How does that work? So I can only share my experience right now. When I was thrifting, the margins were so high that I was able to profit, cash flow, and buy inventory and still like enjoy the money. Right now, in terms of my business is a bit over 20,000 a month, and I'm really not cash flowing much, which means I'm really not taking much money home because I'm buying at such a rapid pace. So what that means is I'm making around $8,000 a month profit, right? And Amazon's paying me like $10,000 to $12,000 a month. But what's happening is I'm putting all that money back into building my inventory. So, 60 days ago, my inventory was at like 700. My inventory is over 1,500. And within the next 30 days, it's going to be over 2,000. So a lot of my profit is actually built into my inventory because I'm just building this snowball, because eventually you build up the snowball big enough where it's just spitting out profits. And I'm going to lower my spend eventually to a point where I'm comfortable. Right now, I'm assuming maybe at like $40,000. And again, I haven't mastered this, guys. I'm learning. I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible with you. But I think my plan really is, once I get to 40,000 a month, my profit margin should be somewhere between 12 to 15,000 a month. And I'm hoping that once I get to that point, let me run some numbers here. So at that point, let's just say I'm selling 40,000 a month. Let me open up my calculator. So let's just say I'm selling 40,000 a month on Amazon with an average selling price of 40. So that means that I would be selling about $1,000 a month. Okay, $1,000 a month. So if my average purchase price is $15,000, I would have to keep putting $15,000 into my business every month to maintain it. And at that point, hopefully there would be, 12 to 15,000 profit remaining. Those numbers may be off a little bit. Let me know if I'm crazy or not. But that's the projection so far, to kind of build it up and then maintain that snowball. But I'm still learning, guys. I'm still trying to get my numbers and my books and everything like really, really dialed in. I have a good bookkeeping system, but in terms of like a SKU to SKU, cash flow, relationship to profit, to it's just, I'm still learning. So hopefully that added a little bit of value. Let me know if that makes any sense, guys, or if I'm crazy. What happened to your views, man? I don't know. What happened to my views? What do you do with stranded inventory on Amazon FBA? So there's a couple different issues with stranded inventory. I have somebody on my team who deals with this. I'm not the most educated. This is, a system I'm going to have to put in place a little bit better. But the way it works right now is if my item's stranded for pricing errors, we reprice the inventory to try to get it out of stranded. If that doesn't work, for the most part, we just have it shipped back to my house and then I resend it out again. So I don't have like any great systems right now. And that's an area right now I'm working on setting up a new repricer. After that, I know I need to put some better systems in place for dealing with stranded inventory. So drop a comment down below. Let me know a couple things. One, why does your inventory get stranded? I would love to know. Inventory also could get stranded for restrictions, which obviously you just get it shipped back and sell it on eBay, or get it shipped back and get ungated and then ship it back in. Restricted inventory, pricing errors. What other reasons why would a piece of inventory get stranded? Let me know. MGC is asking, let me take a drink first. Actually, let me answer some questions on TikTok because I've been ignoring you guys. I apologize. What do you think about FBA wholesale? I think wholesale is probably like the pinnacle, the best way to resell. The thing with wholesale is it definitely takes more business skills. It takes more capital. It takes just overall, like, you've really got to understand your numbers. You've really got to understand how to analyze. I would not recommend just jumping right into wholesale without first doing thrifting, books, online arbitrage, really understanding the ins and outs of selling on Amazon. But I think wholesale is like the pinnacle because you literally have invoices, relationships built directly with distributors or brands, and you can literally just on a snap of a finger get more inventory. And there's something called map pricing on a lot of Amazon listings with wholesalers and whatnot, where you have to price it at a certain price. So there's only a limited amount of sellers. Everybody gets equal distribution of the buy box. And it's just a really reliable way to make money. But it does require credit. It does require business skills. It does require, I think the best way to say is just more business skills. But I think wholesale is the way to go. And I know long-term, that's probably where I'm going to go. How do you get an invoice to get ungated? You mentioned Lego, but would you buy 10 items full price? So yeah, what I would do is if you wanted to get ungated to sell Lego on Amazon, what I would do is go to lego.com and buy 10 sets of a Lego. Okay. I would try to find a Lego that maybe you could sell on Amazon to break even or just lose a little bit of money. So use the Amazon seller app to scan a bunch of Lego and obviously check the Keepa charts and find something that maybe Amazon's coming in and out of stock of, or something that jumps up during Q4, buy at least 10 and then give Amazon that invoice that you got from lego.com. They'll ungate you, send all of that into Amazon, and then just break even or have a little bit of a loss and just call that a cost of business, right? That's probably the way that I would do it. And that's the easiest way to sell Lego on Amazon FBA. What kind of computer do you recommend? Once you go Mac, you never go back. But Apple computers are expensive. I don't think it matters, honestly. What happens? This is a really good question. What happens if you scan a book and there's no e-score? You scan a book, it looks interesting, it says it's super profitable, but there's no e-score. What should you do? Honestly, 95% of the times I pass on the book, because if there's no e-score, then there's most likely a good chance that book hasn't sold in 6 months. But every now and then there are maybe some errors or discrepancies with ScoutIQ. So what I would do, a couple of things I would do is, one, I would look that book up on eBay, the sold listings. If I see this book selling all the time on eBay for a really good margin, I'm going to buy it and either say, you know what, I'll send it into Amazon. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. I'll put it on eBay. Another thing you can do is look up the book using Seller Amp or a Keepa chart. Keepa is a free Chrome extension, and take a look at the price history. Maybe for some reason, ScoutIQ is just not able to pull that data and they're just putting a dash for zero. And I would go from there, but that's how I would analyze it. But a lot of times, if you don't find anything on eBay, if the Keepa chart's not saying anything, I would just pass on it because there's a million other opportunities out there that you can make money with on Amazon. Jessica says, thanks for sharing the information. Just started sending in books for FBA, just waiting for my first sale. Woo! It is so exciting when you sell your first book. And I can't say it enough. When you sell your first item on Amazon, it is like Christmas. I remember the first time I sold something on Amazon, I woke up, I opened up my phone, and this is the funnest part. You open up your phone, you go to the Amazon seller app, right? I'm typing it in right now, and you take a look, and I'm looking at my app today. I've already had 3 sales for $143. I remember looking at it. It was my first sale. It was like $23. And I was like, I made money doing nothing. Obviously, I worked. I had to source the item, ship it in, but it was so cool to me that I could literally buy an item, put it in a box, ship it to Amazon, and then it would sell, and they do everything else for me. So I'm super excited for you guys, flipping your first item on Amazon. It's a great feeling for sure. Hey, appreciate you guys sharing this on TikTok. Appreciate you guys smashing that like button on YouTube. Much love. So what app do you use to keep track of inventory and profit? So for my bookkeeping, I use QuickBooks. That's how I keep track of my inventory and my profit. In terms of inventory specifically, I use Resellerlist to list all my items, and I can keep track of my profits and my inventory that way. And I create a custom SKU for everything. There are some more advanced systems that I really need to implement to really keep track of my inventory on a SKU to SKU basis in terms of how everything's doing. One tool that I'd really recommend is Inventory Lab. Resellerlist or Inventory Lab, but Inventory Lab's done such a great job. And that's how most Amazon sellers track their profits and track their inventory. But definitely get yourself a really good bookkeeping service as well, like QuickBooks. Okay, so here's that question from Smokey. So Smokey sells books on Amazon, and they're asking, in my description on Amazon selling on FBA, I sent the book in and noted it had highlights, but no other damage. Someone bought it FBA and they received it and returned it saying it had water damage. So this is the truth about selling on Amazon and selling on eBay. If you sell an item and a customer wants to get a refund, they're going to get a refund. They're going to get it one way or another, and it stinks, but customers will lie. And this is one of the risks of selling on eBay or selling on Amazon is a customer might say, you want to know what? I don't feel like dealing with communicating with Amazon or eBay or the seller. I'm going to just say it's counterfeit. I'm going to say it's damaged. I'm going to say item described. You can do everything right and they can lie and get their money back. All I can say is it's a part of doing business. It's a cost of doing business. You know what? There's always one apple that ruins it for everybody. But guess what? When you average it out over the whole entire year of selling, it's such a small percentage. So the best advice I can give you is just move on. Take the refund, take the return. Don't fight with them. Don't leave a nasty comment because it will come back and bite you in the butt. So what do I think about buying books in bulk? 1,000 paperback books for 200 pounds and flipping them on Amazon. So if you're considering buying bulk books, like buying a ton of books via liquidation, I think it's a good idea if you have a trusted supplier. My supplier that I use is ScoutIQ. They're trusted. They do a really great job. I think they're pretty backed up right now, but you could check them out, palletiq.co. If you're going to buy a bunch of books from just a random distributor or a supplier, you got to be really careful because most books aren't worth it. You could have a bunch of books that sell for $8 or $9, but after fees, you're not going to make much money. You got to find books that are selling for 14, 15, 16, 20 bucks plus to really make it worthwhile. And, one of the biggest mistakes people make is they buy a bunch of duds from a reseller trying to get rid of their junk. So be very, very careful on Facebook Marketplace or sourcing books in general, where it just seems like a great deal. Like I can get 1,000 books for $70. Those could be all picked through. So what I would recommend is going, sampling, scanning the books, asking questions. Are these reseller duds? Can you show me 20 or 30 of the books? Get a sample and then make a decision from there. And, I think that will definitely help you out a lot. So be very, very careful with that. Oh, that stinks. Wax Clothing says they lost my first shipment, all the books, even though I have recorded proof that the box arrived, won't send again. Oh, that's terrible. So what did you do to try to reconcile that when they lost your shipment? Did you open up a case? What did they say? I would love to know their response. That's terrible for your first time. Honestly, I know it's easy for me to say, oh, don't let it, bring you down, like just shipping another one, but that's a real punch to the stomach. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. I really, really am. But if it's worth anything, it probably won't happen again, but it could. But that's terrible. I'd like to hear more about what you have to say. If your account gets deactivated, do you lose all your inventory at Amazon FBA? How do you get your inventory back after it's sent to Amazon FBA? So this depends. If you get a counterfeit claim or you get caught selling fake items in the terms of service on Amazon, and this is scary for me because I sell a lot of items that could be counterfeit. Obviously, I put in systems to make sure they're not, but any retailer at one point or another sells fake items not knowing it. They might not even realize it. It could be 0.00001%. But if you get caught selling fake items, Amazon's terms of service says we can suspend you, we can kick you off, and we can destroy all your inventory. Honestly, are they going to destroy our inventory? No, they're probably going to just keep it and sell it. So it's very, very scary if you get caught selling fake items. That's why if you're selling anything from thrift stores, selling from items that you buy off of eBay like I do, it's very risky. That's why I tell people my business model is very risky. I'm not doing anything wrong, but it's very risky. Even online arbitrage sellers, a lot of times they won't accept your online receipts or your Walmart receipts. That's why the pinnacle of reselling is wholesale and private label, but it takes a lot more credit and it takes a lot more money because you have that direct invoice that it's legitimate. So that's one thing that's scary. But in general, if you're selling items on Amazon and you ever want to get it back and you haven't, broken a rule or something in the terms of service that screws you over, you can just have the items destroyed at a fee or shipped back to you at a fee. I actually have a call with a lawyer over the next week. We're trying to link up because I want to see if there's anything I could put in place, whether it's systems or just having someone in my corner. If I ever did get suspended or if I ever did get kicked off, how would we deal with this? How would we approach it? Because I've heard that sellers who get kicked off, they hire lawyers and law firms to like settle or get their account back, but I'm not super educated in that. All right, guys, I'm going to get rolling out of here because my throat is literally closing up. We've been on here for about an hour and a half. So if you guys did enjoy this video and you want me to come back live again, smash that like button, tap that screen, leave a comment down below. And I just want to thank you guys all for watching. If I didn't get to your comment, I'll come back again live over the next week and answer some more questions. But with that being said, much love. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.